thank you for doing that, the report, you know.
Not a call.
They usually do it, Barbara ends up doing it at the last minute. This is the annual report.
We'll get to that, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll bring that up.
Oh, thank you so much.
She's done most of it, yes.
Well, it's just a draft, I just
Yeah.
needed to, I told the mayor's office I was working with you on, so I
Well,
had,
I can't even get it at this point. Somebody gave me, I don't know which we got.
okay, we're all set, you can start.
Okay. Public meeting of the Malden Historical Commission,
Date?
which is being held on Thursday, July 16th, in the boardroom of Malden City Hall at 215 Pleasant Street at 10:30 a.m. In accordance with Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order, suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, GLC through 30A, is that an S? What is that symbol?
Section,
Section.
it means section.
Section 18, and Governor Baker's March 23rd, 2020 revised guidance on order by the governor prohibiting assemblage of more than 10 people. This meeting will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. In-person attendance by members of the public is prohibited, and all effort will be made to permit public access to this meeting in real time via technological means in the manner specified below. The city will live stream this meeting, and members of the public who wish to attend remotely can do so using the following information: https://www.youtube.com/City of Malden. Public access will also be provided by posting draft minutes and/or a transcript, recording or record of the meeting on the City of Malden website at www.cityofmalden.org as soon as practicable after the meeting. Additional information guidelines for the public can be found here. https://www.cityofmalden.org/document center/view/2487/public-information on public meetings and hearings during the declared state of emergency related to COVID-19 PDF. I believe that will open the meeting. I'm going to call for an attendance roll call. So will you begin by identifying yourself, please?
John Tremendozzi.
Joe Cesario.
Mary Hampton.
Inna Babitskaya.
Barbara Tolstrup. And also present is our advisor?
Liaison.
Liaison,
Michelle Romero.
Michelle Romero. So
Okay.
you choose to have your mask on? I mean, it doesn't matter. Well, I guess I was just letting Mary know that
okay.
you could have them off.
I can breathe.
You what?
I don't need my mouth uncovered to breathe.
She can breathe. She's leaving the mask for her mouth, but not for her nose. She can breathe fine.
That's good, that's fine, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that's why. So she's
We're
up to
keeping
par.
the 6 feet social distance, so if you
Yeah.
want to take your mask off, I think that's acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got my lowered.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, according to the agenda, first order of discussion. Oak Grove Community Building, 6 Grove Street, CPA application of Friends of Oak Grove, Inc., Fugi.
You have a draft letter that the chair and I worked on. You should have that somewhere in your package on the table that we handed out. It says draft.
I do have it.
It's dated July 16th,
Yes.
addressed to the Community
Oh.
Preservation Committee.
Yes.
And it's Ray, Friends of Oak Grove, Inc., application for CPA funding Oak Grove Community Center, 6 Grove Street. Dear, shall I read this to the,
You
No,
can-
we all have it in front of
You
us.
can read it, or you can just review it. I have an original if it's acceptable to sign. This was a request, as you know, they asked for a letter of support.
Mhm.
And the commission last meeting directed us to draft something, so.
And it says basically, we support the historic renovation of the center and the Friends' efforts, but we're not endorsing one over the other at this point. As far
well,
as
we
I-
don't have to say that.
No, I'm saying it's not in here, that's what I'm saying, exactly. We do endorse the project, absolutely.
Yeah. As far as the two groups, that's not our
So
purview.
do you think that this,
You're gonna have to take the mask on.
yeah, do you think that this sentence doesn't mean that we support them one over another, or what do you think?
I don't think it says we support the historic renovation of Oak Grove Community Center and the Friends' efforts to preserve it. But we also said that to the other group, too.
Yeah.
They have it on file that we supported them. So, I mean, we're not supporting one over the other, we're supporting both, but it's actually the
Yeah.
project that we're representing.
That's how I would like to have it stated. I don't think there's any need to refer to the other group.
No, that's up to them.
Yeah.
But there will be two supports on file with our name. One for this group and
What
one
is-
for the previous
yes.
group, that's all, because
But then
we're supporting the
The
project.
decision by CPC as to who gets what or if any,
It's up to
that's
them.
not our purview. We don't need to deal with that.
Okay, we have this letter in front of us. I would make a motion that we send the letter as it stands.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Yep, you know,
Motion passes.
I will give Barbara the original to sign,
okay.
and then I will submit that.
Okay.
Okay. 15 February.
Thank you.
Mhm. Item 2. Status update for building determined to be preferably preserved. Demolition permit delayed per section 310 demolition. What is the parentheses 10?
That's the subsection of the ordinance.
Okay, 10. Demolition and alteration delay ordinance 15 Ferry Street. Permit application CM1D or ID
ID.
dash 029312-2019.
You have a letter received dated July 14th, 2020, from the attorney for the owner, Roberto L. DeMarco, so you all should have a copy of that. The regarding is 15 Ferry, so this is the first one.
Mhm.
I don't see it.
It was given out on the
The two of them
table.
together.
Yeah,
No, it's in a it was given out on the table, it was not mailed to you because I just
Barbara, take a look
received
at
it.
that, the next pile over. It should say the two of them.
So this is one Salem, this is the 15 Ferry.
oh, okay, yeah, all right, yeah.
Looks like this, it has their letterhead in color.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
Do you want me to read it, or do you want to just take a few minutes to read it, and it will be considered
Why don't you
received?
read it?
For
It'll
the
be-
general public,
Okay,
maybe
so
you'll
it's
want.
dated July 14th, 2020. It's regarding 15 Ferry Street, Malden, Mass. Demolition delay. It reads, Dear Chair Tolstrup and Ms. Romero, as you are aware, this firm represents Alpha Business Center LLC, ABC, the owner of 15 Ferry Street, Malden, Massachusetts, the property of 15 Ferry. We are writing this letter in response to your request for an update prior to the Malden Historical Commission meeting on July 16th. 15 Ferry Street is still on the market. Unfortunately, there has been very little activity lately as things have slowed down due to COVID-19, but we are hopeful that the property will gain more interest in the future. ABC is still willing to entertain discussions about the property and its possibilities with the City of Malden and the Malden Historical Commission. We are also considering contingency plans. To be clear, as per previous presentations to the Malden Historical Commission, the current contingency planning does not include the demolition of the building located at 15 Ferry. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. He provides a phone number. I will keep you updated regarding new developments with the property. Very truly yours, Foster Walker, DeMarco PC, signed Roberto L. DeMarco, Esquire.
Okay. I have a question on that. Since we moved the date on this to December, and we've lost 3 or 4 months, does that date get moved, or do we have to ask them to move it another 3 or 4 months? So, we've lost a couple of months.
I mean, I think that none of the special legislation that was passed would automatically extend that, to my knowledge, because that's a separate agreement that you have. You would have to request an extension of that agreement with the individual private property owner. It's not the same as a permit that got automatically extended or an application that got automatically extended that are protected by state legislation. So you would need to request that.
We have in place until December right now.
That's correct. I believe it's December 5th.
Okay, I would hope like in another month we'd get some more reports, and if we have to go after an extension, but in that case, it's saved until December, and hopefully they're working on it, and I hope they're actively working to find a buyer.
It had been for sale.
Well, I know, the thing is,
But-
everything stopped being negotiated for 3 or 4 months, but lost that
Exactly, I
time.
know that.
But continuing what you said, John, can we, make, our, we can say safe to do it in advance, even if December 5th, can we request from them in advance?
I don't think so. If you
Yeah?
start trying to put it in advance, let's get closer to that day, because maybe something else will show up, and we don't have to go pushing that change, because I'm sure there's going to be a back push on it. They won't want it to go beyond
Yeah.
December, because they put a lot of time into it, and I can understand that. But we have lost 3 or 4 months, and we don't know what they've done during those 3 or 4 months, if they've actually actively tried to sell it or not.
What about contingency? What does it mean? They say about contingency.
And I can't hear a word you're saying, and I'm
The
worried.
What about
contingency planning.
contingency? Yeah.
We don't know what their contingency planning is, they haven't told us, so we
Yeah.
don't know, but they evidently have some contingency plan. We don't know what it is.
Well, they say they are considering them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, but we don't know what they're considering at all.
No.
But can we ask them about more details, what they tried to do? So what their options were
Well,
at least?
I would like to see what they did during these 3 or 4
Yeah.
months. I know the interest wasn't there too much of it. Did they actually reach out? Did they actually meet with anyone? Did they actively try to do some work on this, or they just let it, sit for the months?
Because you remember there was some offer for this building
Yeah.
and it's
They
not like-
refused it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
They-
maybe now, because situation changed because of the COVID, maybe they
Well,
will be.
No, I think they still want their price.
They still want their, I would be curious to see, what
The
did they,
second paragraph of this letter says it all in a way.
yeah, we're hopeful, I know,
15 Ferry
but,
Street is still on the market. That means there's not been any real estate offers. They have,
well, it's on the market, it doesn't say there has been.
have they been actively?
That's just it, that's what
Yeah,
I'm
it
saying.
doesn't say that.
It
yeah.
doesn't say that. It says
Exactly.
unfortunately,
No,
been
it
very
does
little
not.
activity, but the question is what activity, and do they plan to do some activity on it? I mean, I don't want to sit there for 6 months and say, oh, the time has run out. In other words, I want to see, during this time that we could not meet, have they done something actively to try to sell
And
it?
they need to prove if they really,
We need some written
letters,
report, yeah.
like letters, for example, if they were approached by somebody, or
Yeah.
if they sent, advertisement about this building
I would
to
like to
some.
see some proof of their activity during this period and
Yes.
maybe in the
Amen.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
agree.
also I would like to suggest, because as you know, we have our CPC funds and maybe some city funds, so maybe in, there can be collaboration with the, people who made an initial offer for this building, plus some other funds, maybe it can be done, I don't know,
Well,
but.
that's something that should be looked at, but
so-
that they could actively do too,
Yeah.
themselves who do that.
To make this, like city
Well-
building, city-owned building.
Excuse me. I think we should meet with them. We need to negotiate with them what they're doing and maybe make some
Well,
suggestions.
the problem is we really can't meet with them too readily. It's difficult to do this between people who feel susceptible and all, but I think we should get some sort of report of activity of what they've done and
Exactly.
what they're planning
Yeah.
to do.
And then
I would
we
be
would-
satisfied to see a report on
Yeah.
it rather than in person at this point.
I think you're right, and then we could respond to that
yes,
in
exactly.
the same way,
Yeah,
yes.
because, before we receive only just words and they
Yeah.
were not, confirmed about anything. So we need, just exactly what they, whom they, try to correspond, dates, content of this, kind of attempts.
Well, they may not be willing to tell us all the details, because they can tell us
Yes.
client A and what
Yeah.
happened, client B, what happened, was there a client C or was
It
there
depends,
nothing else?
but still it's will.
We should get
Do
some
we
more
actually
details.
need to, or have we the right to ask who the people they
I don't care, I don't care, I just want to know, client, if they've had 3 clients, let us know you've had 3 clients. In other
One
words, you don't
client,
have to
one
tell me
client,
who
we
they
don't
are.
need John Brown and Company
No,
or-
I don't care about that,
No.
because
I
we
see.
assume they have the clients, because
Okay.
we want to make sure they're
Okay.
working on something and not just saying we tried and that's
Yes,
it.
Mary,
Yes, that they're-
yes, Mary.
That they're actively marketing 15
Yeah.
Well,
every
that's
two.
what we're just saying,
And,
yes.
to appropriate,
Well,
Well,
that's what we'd like to see some sort of
Clients.
report
Well,
on their.
institutions or,
And
I don't know if we have to specify.
No.
So we'll ask for, we'll request a
Appropriate
report or
parties.
documentation, more details regarding activity and marketing.
Yes.
And we'll ask, what is the contingency plan?
Yes.
That's a
And
good
then
idea.
I'll ask for another update that includes this
Okay, now,
information.
Yeah.
do I need a motion on that?
I think you probably do, right?
Okay.
You want me to send a letter, you should do that, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All
If the
those
two
in favor?
cohorts here
Aye.
anyway. and-
Aye.
Aye.
So that's to send that letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, may I add something? So I think maybe we need to make it more, publicized among especially the residents who live in this, ward about the situation. So there will be
If
more
they know somebody
offers.
who-
Yeah, maybe. So the public will be more aware of the situation. Maybe there will be some offers from the residents, or they can find, some interesting, parts,
Well,
in
the
this.
problem's gonna be if he's holding out for a certain price, prices have gone up in Malden, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know about industrial buildings, but residentials have skyrocketed in
Yeah.
the last 6 months and so
Yeah.
forth. So he may be willing to just hold on to it until he gets his price, or say, no, that's it. But we don't want him to hold on and say, that's it, and then tear it
If
down.
you want to do publicity, then the commission needs to decide. Do you want to write a newspaper? What do you want to do? It is asking for publicity
Well,
about
the
it.
thing is, they're not asking for us to do the publicity or for him to do the publicity.
No. But I think because I'm not sure about his
Yeah,
desire.
but I don't know if we should be getting into that politically. We're gonna do that for every other person who comes up and needs money? I'm not wild about doing that right now. Like they did an
About
article on
historical significance,
Salem Street.
Yeah.
They wrote a general
Well,
article.
that's what I would have, that's what a press release is supposed to be.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but you can't force them to do, if it's a press release, you have to be careful how
We
you
could
phrase
write the
it.
press release.
No, I'm not gonna write the press release. I'm not gonna write,
Well,
but I
what-
mean, I think,
what I'm not saying, why do you object?
what'd you say? We? Did you
No,
say we
I
or me?
changed my mind, I changed my wording. Why do you object?
I don't object to a press release, but I'm saying I thought you wanted me to write the press release.
No.
No, that's why I understand. Yes, a press release, fine, telling what's going on, and fine, that's absolutely great.
That's what I
Well,
mean,
now,
actually.
they must have this with a real estate agent.
Well,
They do, they submitted, remember, this was way back, they submitted the listing sheet and they submitted all the information. So we'll see if that's changed, if they submit
See
any
if
new
that's-
details about the marketing.
What I actually mean, that because we, historical commission, maybe we need to put this press release in a way about historical significance of this building, because it's,
That
Well,
would be
they know the
that's-
yeah,
significance.
that would
because
be
it's
the
probably
release.
different from what this, owner has in his,
No,
They know the significance, and I think that when they marketed it, they specifically said it was a historical property.
That was in the listing. I don't have it with me. That
Yeah.
was, I recall, in the listing.
But I think doing a release on the, as Barbara was saying, a public interest,
Yeah.
that would be fine to, say they're still working on it or something like that, but I think we should try to get a report from them quickly, so we'll know how far they've progressed before we start writing a report like that. I would like to get a report from them, so that we can see, do we go public, are they got something really hanging there or not,
I think I think that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah. So
And
maybe
if we write,
maybe we need a time frame on that letter, when do we want it back by,
An answer from
An
them?
answer from them, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe
before
next
your
month.
next meeting, so
Yeah.
last time I said I needed it in advance of the meeting. So whenever you set your next meeting, I'll put that in the
Okay.
letter.
We would like it as soon as possible, at the latest, in advance of the next meeting.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And then when we write, if we write a
Yeah.
press release,
Okay,
we,
that's good.
without, well, objective, but not
Accusatory.
opinionated. You're not, personally, but the commission writes this, that we are dealing with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no opinions about
Well,
ABC or anything
no,
like
no,
that.
but why we think it's important and
Yes.
with the
Yeah,
facts
yeah,
type
yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
think that we started mentioning that at the other press release. We talked about One Salem, and then at the end, you discussed at length 15 Ferry. But you could give an update on how it's,
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that sounds
Still
good.
on the market is
Yeah.
this,
Mhm.
one of the last remaining
Converse
Congress
buildings.
We,
Yeah.
we could say something to the effect that when we ask for a report saying, we want to try to help with the press release or something like that, you know, we're working with them instead of against them, type of
Yes,
thing, you know.
yes.
If we can manage
you
that
want to
into,
put that in the letter? John is saying we could put that in the letter.
no,
Yeah.
but when they give us the report, we would like information because we would like to work with them rather than contrary or against
That's
them.
fine, it sounds good to me.
Okay, see how we can work it in, Michelle, please. But that way, you know, you want to work with them to get it done, that's all. Because I'm just afraid they're going to say, no, it's not going to happen, and I don't like that. Okay.
Okay,
So mention publicity or no? Just say you want to work with them.
I think that's the way to do it.
Just, yeah, we'll work with them, so.
No details.
No details yet, they haven't given us any. so-
No, and we don't know exactly what we,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
All right, now, item
1
30.
Salem Street,
Yes, what is, have we had any status report? on
Yes,
that?
we have another
we got another
letter
letter right in front of you.
dated July 14th.
Yep,
Would you like me to read that into the record?
Yeah.
It's regarding 1 Salem Street.
Mm-hmm, okay.
Does everybody have it?
would you
So-
Yeah.
please read it into the record?
Okay, so it says, Dear Charles Strip and Miss Romero, as you are aware, this firm represents Alpha Business Center LLC, ABC, the owner of 1 Salem Street, Malden, Massachusetts, the property of 1 Salem. We write in response to the Historical Commission's request for an update regarding this property before the July 16, 2020 Malden Historical Commission meeting. ABC is in the process of taking down the building located at 1 Salem as per the approval. The asbestos remediation has been completed, and the next steps require the building's utilities to be disconnected. Unfortunately, this disconnection process has been delayed due to the impact of COVID-19. We are working diligently with the city and are pushing to have the utilities disconnected as soon as possible. We've engaged a local contractor with knowledge of the city processes to demolish the 1 Salem building in order that it be done as efficiently as possible. Please feel free to contact me. He provides the phone number and email if you have any questions. Very truly yours, Foster Walker, DeMarco PC, signed Roberto L. DeMarco, Esquire.
The only question, they give us an update and it's good, and I'm just wondering, now that this COVID is kind of toning down a bit, are they,
Please
can
go
they
ahead.
get moving on it or something?
Yes.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. Do we need to know who the contractor is?
No,
I don't believe we do.
no, because they're gonna have to work with the city for regulations and everything too, so
Yes, yes.
no, we're glad they're working on it, that's nice and all that, and we're just hoping that they will move it as fast as they can since we agreed to get rid of it. Now let's get it done, because winter's gonna come soon.
And then we may want to do a little, not exactly update, referring to our previous press release about the,
Yeah,
the.
what's happening at 1 Salem
approved-
Street.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because of the delay of the
Yeah.
COVID-19, you know, we are now, this is.
We're hoping, a lot of the
moving
construction in the city is starting up again, like the American Legion is starting again already. There was another place we saw, the old Burger King, whatever it is, the one on.
Oh, the
Maplewood,
Papagino's.
Papagino's.
Yeah,
That
Papagino's.
started again already. The
And
one
the
at
one
the
on Charles
bowling
Street.
alleys has started again. So we'd like, of course, they're working inside right now, so we can't see them if they're doing asbestos remediation. We wouldn't see that.
Yeah.
But we're hoping that they are working right along.
Right,
So, yeah.
exactly.
We should give them encouragement.
You can-
That's all, just keep working, get it done, yeah. I don't think we have, just that what, we're in receipt of the letter and all that, and thank you for the
I mean,
update.
it's up to you. Do you want me to write another letter or request more information or?
On One Salem, I don't think it's necessary.
I don't think it's necessary. I think you can just unofficially, I would thank them for the update.
I mean, I did when I got the email. I
You
said
know-
it presented. If you want more information or you want to
I don't think
comment.
we,
I don't think we need any at
Okay.
this point either, no.
I think we,
Okay.
as long as we have this as a
Yeah.
point of information. I
What
think we're
about
okay.
the, building commissioner? Is he, satisfied?
The building inspector, that all has to go
Yeah.
through him anyway, I would imagine.
Because,
Building commissioner is, supervises
Yeah.
all of it, right?
yeah, I mean, if he's satisfied with what they are doing, or because
he
I
I
wasn't
mean,
have,
satisfied.
everything was shut down for I don't know how many
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
So I don't know the exact date when it started. But they do have, they have to have the proper permit. So I didn't ask Nelson Miller for an update.
because
I
I
don't
mean,
On an update, I mean, if he's not in compliance, he would be the one.
Yeah, yeah.
because I think it will be good to have, update from him what he consider, if
Okay,
they
ask him
do their part or
What's been
not.
done and how far are they,
Yeah.
what have they
You want
applied
to
for?
request an update from Nelson Miller on
Yeah.
the status?
I think that's,
No,
Yeah,
yeah, that would
something
make
like
sense.
that.
I don't know if it's absolutely necessary.
Because
but
he
yes,
is
we can do
professional,
it.
he can,
It's a rough update. Are they doing what they said they're doing and so forth?
Yeah.
Because we can't see
I'll
inside the
send him
building.
this letter and ask for confirmation and any updates.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's good. Thank you.
that sounds good, yeah.
Do you want to take a vote on that, or?
Okay, I'll make a motion. We send the letter to Nelson Miller.
I'll say.
I can't even think of it straight. You know what it is for getting a report from him also,
Okay.
yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Yeah, motion passes. Okay. What's next?
54 Eastern Avenue.
54 Eastern Avenue, what I've given out is, I was finally able to access this. I had some difficulty. Your consultant, Frank Russell, had updated the Form B. And so this is a 16-page document. So it's got a lot of pictures and a lot more information.
Where is that?
The
You
big
should
picture
all
one.
have received this. It was on the table. Did
It was on the
everybody get
table Before
one?
you came in, Barbara. It should be here.
Is this it?
With the big, no,
It's a
not that.
stapled package in color. It looks like this.
Okay.
Take a look under that pile. Is it on the bottom of that pile?
No.
Okay, well, here, take this one. Maybe you didn't get one.
It could be. If she
I'm
wasn't
sure I
here,
did.
maybe.
That is dated June 22nd. I didn't have it last meeting, I only gave you a page of it, so I would like, at the commission's direction, to send that to the petitioner.
I think so. At this point, since we've had an inventory, they should know what they're trying to change and what we think of to start off with anyway.
Right, and this isn't final according to Frank Russell. It needs, until he can get into the library to complete it, it's
Yeah.
a almost final draft, so.
Right.
I will give you also another update that the consultant for the group, Beretta Life's group, who's doing the project, contacted me the other day and was inquiring about the status of you convening the public hearing. This is before you have an extension with them, you had it scheduled in March. This is a public hearing under the demolition delay ordinance. You need to do the hearing before you can determine whether it's preferably preserved and delay the demo. So they're asking when you think you might convene a public hearing. It would have to be at this stage a remote public hearing. Public would not be allowed to physically attend. They would be able to participate online, via letters, emails. But we would have to coordinate that with Ron Cochran so that we have the technology and it would be working. So this would, it's up to the commission. Right now, you've just been doing the meetings. This would be an actual hearing. So it
Okay.
would,
So, I mean,
you'd
we-
have to interact. The petitioner would make a presentation remotely. You'd see that, telecast to you.
We have not gotten a copy of their plans.
You did get a copy of the original plan with the demolition application.
Okay, so I should look for that.
But they have since revised the plan. So I will get you an updated copy of that.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
But at any rate, they are asking about, and I said I would talk to the commission about convening the public
Okay.
hearing, so.
Have they seen this yet?
No, I
They should
want you
see-
to let me know if you want me to send that to them.
I think they should, because this presents the arguments that we're going to have, against it being torn down. And
So I will,
Yeah.
I will send it to them. Do you want to give them any update on the public hearing? When you think you might be doing that?
Probably not until September, maybe.
I was going to say, let's send them this, and then at our next meeting, see if we get any more give and take
So-
between the two.
So send them the Form B revised,
Yeah,
ask them for the revised plans,
yeah.
and let them know you're tentatively considering September. In,
Because August we would meet, right, and we,
well, I mean, you could meet, but we need to do hearing notices, publications. To do
Yeah.
a hearing, it's a lot of administrative
let's,
process to do. It can't just do it next week. It has to
No.
be
I know that.
Let's-
scheduled and
let's give
coordinated.
them, let us get their forms, we give them this form, and we plan a meeting of our board in the August meeting to decide on a date or something,
Okay.
because this may change our opinion of things. So I think if we have both forms in front of us, I hope they won't object to giving it to us in advance like that, because I'm sure
What-
you've
what-
seen
I only
this.
have one,
What?
4.
This one here, I'm talking about their form, what they want to do.
Oh, theirs.
They're
They're-
revised, I'll ask them for
I'm
any
sorry.
revised
I
plans.
thought you said we
Right.
have both.
Well, we have their,
Right, the hearing
I call this
is
one
under
for
the
the
demolition application. They've already submitted, but they've revised the plan, so we'll get copies of that.
Okay,
So that's right now in your jurisdiction already to do that hearing, because you determined it was significant. Your next step is to determine is it preferably preserved, but you need to do a hearing before you can make any determination.
okay, did
I
we
got-
vote on it before about being?
No, I got what you
historical
said,
significant?
send them the Form B revised, ask for revised plans, and tell them that you're gonna tentatively consider a hearing in September.
Okay, do we,
But I
we
need
told
you
them
to
already it was historically significant?
vote on that, yes.
We did, I thought, I was just checking.
You made that determination
Yes.
back in
I thought so.
February.
It's just taken so long.
So you wanna take a vote on that to do those 3 things?
yes.
Okay,
I'll make a motion.
second,
All those in favor?
all right,
Aye.
okay. So August meeting only, and then open meeting later. I'm just talking to myself, that's all.
So.
Okay, all right, I think we're done with that one, all right. The next one is the revisions to demolition alteration. We have this in front of us, the houses, do we have to do anything on this
No,
one?
the revisions we discussed last time, I don't have any new updates on the alteration provisions. So
Okay.
that was just on the agenda as a placeholder. I thought I might have a draft, but I didn't have a
Alright.
chance to get to that, so.
And this is just the listing of the
We'll get
contracts
to
we
that at
sent
the end
out.
of the, at new business, right. That I was just gonna give to you at
Okay.
the end.
Okay, so I suppose we have a CPC first, the number 6 is the next one,
Yeah,
Barbara?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we had our Zoom meeting on Tuesday this week. Discuss one project which was maybe will be supposed of cycle Linden Ring. It was applied, by Ron Cochran and some other people. So about making, it's for the ice hockey and during the winter and during the summer for other, kind of sports.
Where are they gonna think of doing, where are they gonna do this ice hockey rink? Did they say a place where it's gonna be located?
Linden Ring.
What?
I'm sorry.
Linden
I-
Ring.
I'm lost.
Linden Ring for the ice hockey.
The Linden rink up near the Linden School, they wanna prepare it for ice hockey also. The Grange will do that.
Where's the
Yeah.
Linden
And
Ring?
is CPC, they have asked for CPC.
Yeah, they asked for the CPC
What group
grant.
is this in it?
What?
What group?
I don't remember the group, but the project called Linden Ring.
Linden Rink
Yeah.
is the name of it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't remember the name exactly.
Is there a rink there now?
They say, yes, they say that there is some, so they want to renovate.
Okay.
Whatever.
Um,
Yeah,
In the wintertime, they construct So there's sort of green stone wall to hold the
Okay,
water.
so-
They flood it
Oh.
and then they freeze
Hold
it.
your breath.
Yeah.
and
So
I
it's not a
can't hear you.
permanent structure.
I can't hear
She-
what
The
you're
rink at Lincoln,
She's mumbling.
at Linden is basically they put a border of grass and
Right.
flood it. As far as we know, it's not an
Yes,
official
yes.
solid rink
They
yet.
used to do that with all the.
So
parks.
they want to do some renovation, some technical stuff, so it's
So
one
now
of the
they want,
projects.
what, a more structured rink?
Yeah, they want to, more technology.
Like maybe a building that
Yeah,
has.
yeah, I think there are some, but
We don't-
if you're interested in details,
Yeah, where
I can
does-
bring next time.
Okay, because we don't have the details yet they're working on.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we don't have, I was just gonna ask you where that application stands, but we don't know yet.
Ye-
She's just telling us what is coming through the
Yeah, yeah.
CPC.
Yes,
that's all.
yes.
So we have a new chair because there was some resignation, some,
Yeah.
members, just their terms, was ended and whatever. So the new chair is Lisa Salda, and the new
Who?
Lisa Salda, she was a member for all these years when we work, and the new vice chair is Khalil Kaba. He is a person with education in urban planning, so I think it's a great addition. And we also have one new member. She will be member at large, named Monique Ching.
What's that last name?
Ching.
Ching.
So, and we probably will have 2 new members. There were advertisement last week in Malden Advocate from Ward 5 and Ward 8. So
They're
they're
advertising for members of the.
from the members, from these
From
wards.
those wards, yeah.
Yeah,
Ward 8 is one of them.
yeah.
And
Ward,
Ward
Ward
five.
5.
and
yeah.
Ward 5, yeah. And what else we discussed? So we discuss our budget, we discuss the projects, and there was some suggestion. We didn't decide on this yet. So the new chair supposed to, make some kind of sabbatical for our committee. So stop to accept new projects for maybe 6 months or 3
Until
months,
things get
because there are
cleaned
new
up.
members which should be, as she tells they should be trained, whatever, they should be
I
aware.
think you also have a lot of projects that have been okayed but not done yet.
Yeah,
either,
that's
too,
what
so-
I said.
So what is this that she's suggesting? Well, a little
She suggested
controversial.
sabbatical for new projects for a few months, but we didn't vote on it yet, so we didn't decide. There will be hearing on Oak Grove project in August, these 2, and probably some other projects which were delayed due to COVID. And what actually I said, that because only few historical projects that ever were represented, this Wallace Memorial Park, this historical tax for the houses and library, they were delayed by Preservation Committee
Mhm.
for a long time. So I asked the new chair, because this project should be considered. They cannot be, frozen
Can't keep
for.
them there forever.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
I agree.
no,
Yeah,
they should
so
be-
I stress this because it's actually a problem.
Yeah.
For now, there were no any historical project which was approved, and it's
You're talking about the ones, you called it the house one. That's the one Linda Thornton one?
yeah.
Okay, because I think she's more general areas, not houses. but-
The
but-
what?
Maybe not houses. I mean
Yeah.
historical
Linda
tax.
Thornton
Yeah,
wants to put the
Markers.
explanatory markers at various parks and places.
Yeah.
And I have the idea of putting them on houses, like we did this
We
one.
did before.
Yeah, I know, but they're two separate projects now, so we haven't done, unless Barbara works the house one, Linda works the house one into hers. Hers is a different
She
project.
wants to put it on public buildings
In other
or
words, they
historic.
have it accordingly in different areas type.
Where the
Yeah.
mills were and things like
Yeah,
that.
in other words, the area ones, like Waits Mountain, one of the more bigger ones. I think she
Exactly.
also has, in the back of her mind, the way she's written it, it could be adapted to do individual houses too, come up with the
Which
list.
I think is a good
I think
idea.
that has to
Yeah.
be done. If she doesn't do that, then we have to, but I'd like to get the wall done first,
Yeah.
get one thing done at a time. but-
Well, we gave you the update last month that we're waiting on David Hancock. The commission decided that you wanted to wait for his services to be
Yeah.
available, so.
Yeah, I hate to ask.
Nothing's changed.
We haven't heard
I didn't
anything
ask
for-
for any update, it's only been a month, so
Okay.
he said he would be available in September.
Oh, September, okay. I was gonna say,
That's
he
what
didn't-
Yeah.
he didn't get
told us.
COVID, I hope.
No, he has other serious health issues
Yeah.
he's been dealing with since
Okay.
the beginning of the year.
All right, no, just checking.
What I actually think maybe we need to discuss with, the new chair, the situation that, historical project receive much more requirements for the vendors than any other projects.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a serious issue because I think there should be, the same, approach to any kind of project. So if they require free vendors from like one project and do not require, free vendors from the other, it's not fair.
That's not right.
Yeah, so maybe there should be discussed, through the letter or maybe through the personal meeting with the new chair, and maybe it can, remedy this situation, because obviously it's not good if we don't have any kind of historical preservation.
Why is there any difference in the number of vendors that you?
I thought for every project it had to be three.
I thought that was a city.
I actually cannot explain why it was done so, but I can only, I was a witness of this process, and I can try to object when it was, so I did my objections, but, unfortunately it's went this way. And I would like to, make more, make more attention to the historical preservation, which was, not done.
And
Because-
you don't require three?
They're supposed to, but there are a couple of projects that went through with only one and two.
Yeah.
Because the wall, when we put in our project, we've been crazy at the last minute to get a third vendor, because we had to have three, we were told. And that's the one that was like $500,000. But at
Yeah.
least we had three. Other people are getting through with less than three, one and two.
That's not right.
No,
Yeah.
that's right, that's
Yeah,
what she's
That's not
complaining
right.
about.
Well, I've heard, she probably shouldn't say this publicly, which I am, but I've heard some negative comments about the way the CPC is, or the CPA is being administered. So is this, that they're sort of in kind of
Trying to figure out.
add-ons, trying to figure out what they're doing, or, that they don't know what they're doing?
It's
How
difficult.
is this working?
It's difficult to say. So doesn't know or who knows. But I can say that definitely there's something should be done when we speak about historical preservation. Because for now it was mostly open space, and during these COVID months there was some help for residents. Like we can say housing part of CPA.
Yeah.
But there is nothing for preservation, and this actually bothers me because we are, especially
You're supposed to
Malden,
have a
especially
special, yeah.
Malden needs much more efforts to preserve whatever we have.
Of course we do,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Did the library apply for the CPA,
They
CPC?
applied, but there also was some problems with their grant. I think it was with, I don't remember, maybe you, Michelle, can explain better. It's regarding to
Is it the down-
employees and something. I just don't remember this exact
No, I want-
issue.
did they apply for
I don't know.
restoration of the basement into an archive
Yes, they
room?
applied, but they were,
That's the one that has a
I
problem?
think it was related to how they can be paid for their work, so, and who could do this. So I can look into,
Because I think we
our
have-
documents.
We have an architect and a builder, who should be able to give estimates right there. It doesn't involve.
What is happening with
Because
the
there are some issue when the city employee do the work, so there are some kind of
Yeah, that
I
should
mean,
not.
that project was approved, but I don't know anything about the administration of it.
I
That's
don't
up
think
to
that,
the
Yeah.
had-
city.
I'm not sure, but I don't think that had city employees involved. In other words, there are outside companies doing it because we hire them to do other
So,
things in the library.
let me
She's
ask-
talking about the basement of the library. We're trying to convert it to more storage space for archives.
But I think
I think
Dora
that's a
Dora
good
can.
idea, but what is the problem?
Well, that's what we're
I
trying to
think
find
Dora
out.
can, help you with explanations what's going on. But they definitely applied, but
Yeah.
it's also was, delayed due to some, issues. And she actually planned to apply. There were two steps of the project, as I remember. And one was stopped, and because the second was like continuation, if I remember correctly. So the second one also was not, was
So,
stopped.
so they're thinking that this is going to be a benefit to the employees of the library, which are city employees.
There are some issue, yeah.
Yeah, and which
No.
really isn't the
Not,
case.
not to benefit, no, I think it's related to
She-
who does the
Who
job, you
does
know.
the work?
Who does
Yeah.
the work?
Yeah.
And that should all be outside people as far as
They're
I
out-
haven't
But,
heard
but
that.
I need to look, I need
Yeah.
to find the exact term, I just don't remember, you know.
So you're a trustee,
Yes.
president. You're of the library.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're CPC. You're someone, they're applying to you for funding to do this work.
yeah.
What is the problem? Do you think that it should be done by outside people?
I haven't said anything about the problem at all. I don't know of any problem. This is the first I'm hearing. As far as I know, we had spoken to outside people to do it. That's why.
Yeah.
This is the first I'm hearing about anything
So
internal.
if you know, John, if you're interested, I can find, exact,
Yeah.
information, because I just tried to remember, and, it was too long,
Yeah,
when
oh,
we
no, there's
discussed.
too
So
much information,
I don't
I
want
know.
to make mistakes, so maybe even now I
I
Yeah.
think
will.
we, whatever you need, I think I need to be updated on what's happening with it, because I certainly don't know.
Well,
what's
this is
happening.
it. I don't know how far. I've heard bits and pieces.
Yes.
We agreed to apply for it, but
Yeah.
of how far it's gone and how far the details are, I'm not sure either, and I'm the president of the board.
And how closed are they on the things that they discussed? I mean, are they public knowledge? Do they make it public knowledge?
You
The
mean
one- the one C-
discussion on the CPC?
Yeah.
So usually there were minutes, which were then put on the website.
But are they
Yes.
open public meetings?
They open, so
Yeah.
people can come actually.
Yeah.
Plus open
Yeah.
meeting law. If people interested, they can come, and some of them came. To, like, for example, OJA, they came when their project was discussed. They came nearly to every meeting, so they were very diligent. This association people. So they discussed, but there were some issues with some minutes. So
Mhm.
some were not put in time, so people complained, so there were some
Oh,
issues
yeah,
with this.
We know about that
Yeah.
too, yes.
What I have you voted on this several months ago, this is the letter reappointing Anna to the committee as the commission's member. So if Barbara wants to sign that, you had already voted to send that,
Good.
so that Anna will continue to represent.
Now,
the
this
commission.
new chair,
Yeah.
does this require some kind of experience in this area, or are we just, because this is a person that's on the committee, which they're gonna be
Yeah, she actually works from the very beginning in our committee, and she was among those people who, helped this, committee to be created. So this act to be, accepted by oral.
But I think what Barbara is driving at, does she have to have any credentials? I don't think so. Do we need credentials to be on the historical commission? Not really.
Well, we had to apply to be.
You had to apply, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but she didn't need, it didn't say you have to have a doctorate in history, or you have to have 5 years' experience in historical architecture. It's an interest and the willing to do the work.
Yeah.
And I think that's what CPC is also.
Yeah.
It's interest, you don't have to have expertise.
well, the problem with it is,
Mhm.
because of that, you have this leaning or bias towards certain projects, for
Possibly.
instance.
Yeah.
But hopefully,
Not
if-
possibly, it has happened.
well, the
Yeah,
thing
it's
is,
happened, that's
that's
open
just, that's up
space.
to the CPC people, the committee itself, to stop that stuff and make sure bias doesn't get through, just like us. We've got to be careful. It's not done on a biased basis and so
Well,
forth.
apparently it has been done on a bias basis. Am I asking the wrong question?
I think there was some inclinations toward one project and not toward
Yeah,
another. As I
yeah.
told about historical preservation, definitely there were not so much attention to it.
But the people on that group, that CPC, should understand they're for the whole city and for all areas of it, the housing, the open space, historical, not just
Well,
one.
I could completely agree with that.
I know,
That
that's
was
what I'm
that-
saying. If it shows up they're only supporting one and not the other.
But you
then it's a
really
problem.
can't compare us to them, because what we do is a totally different thing than what they do.
Well,
No, 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 I
I
know,
know
but-
that too.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, they should be fair throughout the whole city and listen to everything. But the problem is if they're not getting the projects from the other areas, they've got nothing to, discuss.
Right.
So it's a matter of
Yeah.
both things, yeah.
But there should be, what I actually would like to add, that there should be more awareness from all the residents about historical projects. So if somebody had, in their mind, some interesting project, they should apply. for now it's look like we had a few, but unfortunately, even those few that we had, they were delayed.
Yeah.
And it's actually bothers me, And, I try my best to,
We know, believe
to
me.
move
Yeah.
them because I think it's important,
Yeah, and
It's-
it seems that they push those projects for historic preservation aside
Yeah.
Well,
in favor of other things that are more probably community-oriented.
Well, this is it. They're not pushing them aside, but they're getting more people active on the community ones
Exactly.
rather than the
Right.
historical
But
ones.
Joe, what I think actually every kind of project is community oriented.
Supposed to be,
If we speak especially about historical preservation,
Mhm.
because if there will be no historical objects in a city, it will be totally different city.
Well, certainly the wall is a
Oh, yeah,
community
no, that's-
project
Yeah.
because it's only going to beautify the area.
Yeah, and it's
Which they
related to
don't see.
our
I don't think
veterans.
that they
It's
see
really-
that.
Well,
Yeah.
this is one of the things we talked about last time. How do we get the message across that preservation is, number one, important?
Well, one thing is preservation awards and preservation, things like that we used to do in the past, which we haven't done for a while.
It's been a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
and also there should be, more awareness, in our city media, on maybe our TV,
Mhm.
Malden TV, which is now UMA, but still, we know the name. And I think, it should be stressed that even now you see how many new buildings, they change the, image of the city, and many Maldonians whom even move away, but they still love Malden, and they, feel sorry, how city changing, and sometimes not for good,
Yeah.
because it's losing its historical image. It became something unrecognizable, something very typical,
Yeah, They have a nostalgic feeling for the city,
Yeah.
and connection.
There should be some specific, Malden specific, and if we do not
Well,
preserve it,
I'm not, I think we're getting maybe,
Yeah, well,
Okay,
we're getting
there are
off.
a couple
I
more
mean,
things, and I want to make sure we can get to them before we have to leave.
All right,
the room.
let's-
I
let's
think,
move
I think we
on.
should move
So,
on.
in
then.
terms-
I hear what you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't totally agree with the whole thought, but I think there is some importance attached to what you're talking about, so we'll bring it up and maybe at our next meeting. We'll look at possibly some planning for this. All right, you have
So,
something you want to
just
bring
a
up?
couple new business pieces. I've given you all the list. It's a spreadsheet. Those are the 10 properties we identified
Right.
at the last meeting. The consultant, Frank Russell, is in the process of working on those inventories. So the contracts were signed, so that's all set. No, that's the other list, Barbara. It looks like a spreadsheet.
This one, Barbara, right here.
It's in front of her there.
Oh, okay.
So that's just for
Sorry.
your reference, that was given to the consultant, and those are the 10 that he's working on that you identified. The other piece of business is the annual report. I gave you a draft. If you can take a look at that, it was already due July, so I'm not sure if you have a chance, if you can take a few minutes to look at this.
Where is it?
This one here, the
Now,
multi-sheet, this one, that
if
Barbara
you're
talked
okay
about.
with it, we can
This
get
way,
that
okay.
filed. But I have to fill in the appointment dates and
Yeah,
the
because I don't
terms.
know them all.
You
myself.
probably want to look at the last page, which are your challenges and
Yeah.
goals. Those were things I just came up with based on
Yes.
our year's work. But if you want to make any changes to those, if you could, like I said, take a few minutes, look at it now. If you need more time, then we'll have to, let them know that we'll be delayed and we'll do it for the next
I think
meeting.
this is good, this is good.
Yeah.
I was looking at it before you came in anyway, so I think
Yeah.
that's okay, but if you can fill in the appointment dates.
Okay, does everybody?
Mary has a question.
My home address is near the
Mary,
garage.
take the mask off while you're speaking.
Okay, yeah, your home, I'm sorry, what's your home address? Mary?
29.
29,
Beach Street
okay.
Terrace. There is no 44.
Okay. Home address, okay, I'll change
Yeah,
that. That
mine's
must have just
correct.
been
What
mine.
is
Joe's
it,
correct,
Mary?
Joe's is correct.
29 Beach Street Terrace.
Why don't you change the date, the number?
Gee, there is no 44.
No, that was probably, I was thinking
Something else.
44 Noble.
44
and I-
Noble,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I must have just,
Yeah.
Michelle, I have a question about revisions to demolition alteration delay. I probably sent you some information about demolition due to neglect of the objects. Maybe you remember.
Yes.
So,
yes. We were gonna talk to the
Yeah.
building commissioner about
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
So- But this is just telling us the projects we want to,
Yeah.
there's no detail in here yet,
Yeah.
so that would be included in
because
here.
I think it's important information and
yeah.
it can help.
I'm sorry, what do you wanna edit something, or?
Oh,
Revisions to the demolition and alteration delay.
The goals, the number 2 goal.
Okay.
So I mean there were some information about demolition or due to neglect, and I think it's important if they will revise the ordinance, maybe to put this.
Yeah, we
Okay,
have
yeah.
to, you'd have to vote on that to discuss. I didn't even get a
No, no,
chance to draft the changes that you talked about last
Yeah.
time and voted on, which
No.
were to do with the criteria for significance.
But this is fine as the goals.
Yeah.
This is fine.
Yeah, if that's it, yeah, I mean, I tried to make it more general because,
We can go into details later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
so
great.
we'll have to definitely,
Mhm.
get back on track with that too.
Okay, but I don't know if you need a motion for it, but I would say this is fine.
Yeah.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Okay, I'll have Barbara sign this
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
and that way we can get that filed.
That's this one. I'm just putting everything together so I don't lose it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, have we hit everything?
I think so.
I mean, is it safe to make a motion to adjourn? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
You gonna set another meeting date, or?
Yeah.
before you
Well,
do that?
I assume we'd stick to.
What is it? Usually the third Thursday.
Yeah.
Let me find my calendar
So
here.
stick with that.
Yeah.
Who wants to second the motion to adjourn?
So it will be what
Second on
date?
the motion to adjourn, so I guess we can all say aye.
Aye,
Okay,
okay.
So it will be August.
This is August,
20th?
let's see, the 20th, August 20th, as far as I can see.
Yeah.
Okay, August 20th. 10:30 again?
Yeah.
Is that a good time? If we wanna push it